Hello and welcome to a new Google Sheets video in Practical Sheets. Today I'm going to answer a question from one of you in the channel. Is that I want to generate a code that when I write something, it automatically adds another thing to what I just wrote. For example, if I write here 2020, then it will add anything that I want. I put here in my example ref 2020, but you could put numbers or other texts or whatever. And it also serves a double purpose as a validation. That if I write, for example, a text, I don't want him to write text. So if I put here 1 and enter, then it'll delete it. Okay? And if I write another number, it puts it. But I could validate it further that it only accepts 4-digit numbers or 5-digit numbers or whatever. So I hope you like it. But before heading into the video, let me invite you to subscribe to the channel, or further, you can go to practicalsheets.com where you can subscribe for the template of this and more than 50 files, and for courses in Google Sheets, Google Script, and more. Thank you so much. Let's continue. So this is the question that triggered this video. I need to generate a code with a set of numbers that I need. When I type 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to generate automatically 2020, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the same column. How could I do that? Okay, so let's try it out. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. I'm going to put reference. And what I want to do is when I type, I just want to change what I type, but based on what I just typed, you know? So let's go to extensions, AppScript. And let's change this to whatever you want. We're going to name this project correct reference. So first, let's see what the user typed. This, we can do it in a couple of ways. I'm going to use getActiveRange. I think I like this method. And let's call this ActiveCell. Now I need the value with ActiveCell.getValue. And let's store it in a variable called current value or active value or whatever you want. Also, I'm going to, just for safety reasons, I'm going to make sure that this only works in the column A from row 2 up, and in this sheet, let's call this products. Okay, so I need to check in which column am I. This I can do it with the getColumn method. And I can also get the row with the getRow method. And finally, I can get the sheet with the getSheet method. And further along, I need the name of the sheet. So I can get it with this other method, getName. So let's store this in some variables. And now, in order for my code to work, I'm going to do a conditional. To create a conditional, an if conditional, where I'm going to compare this to my reference value. For example, the active column needs to be 1 in my case. Then the active row should be greater than 1. And the active sheet name should be, I think it was products. For now, let's leave it like it is. Now what I want to do is that when I write something, then it change this to, for example, ref 4545. Okay, so this is pretty easy. I'm just going to take my active cell, set the value to whatever I had, the current value, but I'm going to concatenate it with with whatever I want. So this is why I'm going to create a variable called new value that will be, in our case, in the first example, we're going to put the string ref and then add whatever I had before, current value. And I'm going to set as value this new. That's it, nothing more. I think it should work. Actually, it won't work because I need to include this in a simple trigger. So down here, I'm going to create a new function called onEdit. It has to be called like this. And then I'm going to add my correct ref function with the parentheses Now it should work. Let's see. Let's try to write something. Enter. It takes a couple of seconds, but then it changed it. Okay, excellent. What happens if I delete something here? Then it automatically puts the ref. So I need to add another condition here. I can include it as another condition here with the ampersand, double ampersand, and say that the current value needs to be different than empty. Okay, this is the different comparison operator, and this means empty. Okay, let's save and let's try it again. Let's delete this, and it does nothing. Then next we could do some validations. For example, this mandatorily has to be a number, because what happens if I write something? Then it puts this ref1, and maybe I don't want this. Maybe I want to validate the cell in some way, so that if I write 1 or letters, then I leave it empty. It's like a kind of validation. So what I could do here is add another condition, that the current value has to be, for example, a number. Let's do here, let's log type of current value. This is a method or a JavaScript function that shows me what is this, the current value, what is it. So I'm going to write here something, and let's save. Let's do a test here with a number, and let's go here to my executions, and this is a number, you see? So this could be my other condition, that it has to be a number. So let's save this as a variable also, type, and let's say that type has to be number. Let's save, and let's try to put a number. It works, but if I put anything here, it doesn't put the ref, but it doesn't delete it. Maybe I want to delete it. So this is why I told you in the past I prefer to have some of these conditions separated. So I'm going to copy this, cut it, and put it down here in another condition. If this equals to number, if the type is a number, then do what it was doing before. But if the type is not a number, so else, then you just put as value nothing, these double quotation marks. Let's save, and let's try it to delete all this. So let's try again a number. Perfect. And let's try a name. So it deletes it again as a kind of validation. Another thing we could do is that I could also do other kind of validations. For example, I want the number to be only 4 digits or 5 digits or between 4 and 6, something like that. So for example, the type of, I use it here. I could look for other characteristics of my current value. First, I'm going to convert this to a string. Now that it's a string, I can do a lot of things. For example, I can have the length, and let's call this length. And here I can add another validation, is that it has to be a number. The length has to be 4. So double equal 4. Let's save, and let's put 4 numbers here. But if I put 5, it won't work, it will delete it. Maybe I could put an alert that the number was wrong, or you need to put 5 or whatever. But you could be a bit more flexible and, for example, say that it has to be at least 4, but also it could be up until 6 or 7. Let's save. Here is my mistake. Let's save, and let's try it again. So if I put 3, it won't work, but if I put 4 or 5 or even 6, it'll work, but if it's 7 or 8, it doesn't work. So once you do this to string, then you can be much more creative in the conditions you want. You can even use regular expressions to see that it has to follow a certain pattern or something like that. So now it is over. Thank you so much. And if you like this video, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, or even further, go to the Patreon page where you can support me, or to my practicalsheets.com site, which soon will have all the templates with a subscription and courses in Google Sheets, Google Apps Script, and more. Thank you so much. See you next time.